Cast Bruna. Get Gisela. Use the ability. Bet opponents are crapping themselves now. There's 1 mana up over here. That could be scary. Go to the end step. Try to meld this Brazella. We melded a Brazella. Today on Commander Replay, we check out the secret Lair Angel Precon and find out if we can still win the game after having our Brazella stolen. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing the Gisela Secret Lair Angels Precon today. I think I spit all that out correctly. Let's take a look at this opener. 3 lands, Well of Lost Dreams, a tutor. Seems good enough. We'll keep. So yes, this is the Secret Lair Angel Precon. I'm not looking at the title, but I think it's Angels Are Just Like Us, but cooler and with wings. Did I get that right? Who knows? Anyway, I did in fact order the deck, and I was sad to find out that I think it's going to arrive when I'm on vacation, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But anyway, we're going to take a little preview look at the deck, because the deck is almost entirely reprints, which means all the stuff's available on Magic Online, except for 2 cards, which I did have to replace. Ardent Angel and Breathtaker Seraph, I think was the other one. And so I replaced those with a Mask of Memory and a Horn of the Mark. Obviously, you guys have seen me play Mask of Memory a ton. I don't like leaving home without it. But Horn of the Mark is one that looks interesting and could be very promising for the deck. I did not include that in my $30 upgrade video that I did on this deck list. There's a 4th land. 4th land is good. That means we can at least cast 2 things here. Play the Plains, pass the turn. And while that's happening, we'll take a peek at the deck list here. So here's the deck list. Overall, I feel like this is a very well-built precon, especially for a mono white deck. I know the green precons have been getting like ridiculously good lately. I've had non-precon decks lose to green precon decks. That's how good those are getting. But overall, especially for a mono white deck, I do feel like this is pretty well built. They tried to do their best with the card draw. We've got Vanquisher's Banner. Well of Lost Dreams is going to be one of your better options. Cosmos, it looks okay in this deck because there is a lot of life gain, but it's not my favorite. Tome of Legends, on the other hand, is fantastic. Maze Mine Tome, haven't used it yet, looks okay. Maybe a little slow, maybe a little mana intense, but not the worst thing that's ever existed. Endless Atlas, staple of mono white decks. The other thing, too, is that even though there's not, like, tons and tons of card draw in the deck, there's a little bit. It's more than 0, and I can appreciate that. It does seem like you can get a lot of value, repeatable value, out of the enchantments and various life gain effects in the deck. So, you know, with stuff like Griffin Airy and some of the other things that make an angel whenever you gain so much life, you know, that's not card draw, but it is card advantage. So, as long as you can keep something in play at some point, I do imagine you should be able to have some success with this deck, even though it doesn't just have, like, blazing amounts of card draw in it. And, like, for me, my typical card draw in mono white is Mask of Memory with 5 tutors. 5 cards to go get 1 card. That's how I do it. There's a Keeper of the Accord. Any green decks? Oh, yeah, there's a Nature's Lore. Excellent. Well, we're always away from that still, but... So we play the Plains and we pass. Other notable things in this deck. I felt like the removal was okay. Maybe could have used another board wipe or 2. I do like a lot of board wipes. It could definitely use like a Settle the Wreckage or a Comeuppance. A Comeuppance reprint would be nice. Those are creeping up there. They're like $8 or something last I looked. I think they were 12 during the pandemic, which is... I'm like, how did that happen? Did I do that? Because I'm the only person that talks about this card. Talisman of Progress for opponent. We do have Entreat the Angels. This is probably one of the first ones that I would cut personally. It looks okay, but it's just like, oh, man, without haste. And without that, if that were an instant, God, if that were an instant, it would be such a good card. If they had printed any of these at instant speed, they would be absolutely amazing. The fact that they are all sorcery speed really limits what they can do in Commander, because if someone has a board wipe, all you're doing is saying, please play that board wipe, right? Now, I get that white has like a lot of protection effects now, like a lot of protection effects, and, you know, potentially you could tap out for like a Flawless Maneuver and keep that in your hand, and that's the whole thing that you could do. But yeah, just the whole sorcery speed thing, it's so telegraphed, and that's always been mono white's problem, is that you can't really surprise anyone, and they always get a chance to react at sorcery speed. But moving on from that, decent 7-drops in the deck. Angel of the Runes I really like. Amaria Shepherd I love. Angel of Serenity always overperforms whenever I see it. There's been points where I'm like, oh, maybe I should cut that for something else, because there's a lot of cool 7-drops with Angels, and just like, nah, it always solves problems whenever it shows up. If someone drops like a Butcher or Malakir and you need to get it out of the way, it's great for that. Safara, also really nice. Notably, no Avacyn in the deck. This is going to be your budget Avacyn right here. Valkyrie Harbinger does seem very good and seems like it should be able to spit out a lot of angels. If you can keep this with Gisela in play, that's probably about... That plus time is probably about all you need to really win the game. That will generate a lot of angels. Nykthos Paragon, not an angel, but does look insane in this deck. Dawnbreak Reclaimer I love, and that's a surprising one, because that's one that, like, kind of gets missed a lot. I don't even remember what it was out of originally. Commander 2015 or something weird like that. One of those cards that people never adopted, and I mean, probably for good reason. The text on it is actually incredibly confusing. I usually have to read it whenever I play it, and anyone else who sees me play it probably has to read it 2 or 3 times. It's just worded very strangely, which makes it sort of hard to understand its ability, but its ability is better than the blurb of text leads you to believe it is, so... Can appreciate that. Archangel of Thune, same thing. Probably another one of our big finishers there. Again, maybe a touch slow in that everything's telegraphed, but maybe if you gain a little life beforehand, before your attack, you'd be in good shape. Angel of Destiny, I'm not sure how to feel about this one in this deck yet. I like it more for, like, commander damage decks, which this isn't really. Anyway, and there's a lot of nice value pieces in the deck. Well of Lost Dreams, Cosmos Elixir, Court of Grace, I am curious in. Angelic Field Marshal, these got really expensive for a while, and I have to think that Rachel Weeks was some part of that, because she more or less won a game with it on game nights. It was probably, 2 or 3 years ago, and they seem to have climbed in price fairly steadily since then. So, like, here's the question. We don't have anything else to do on 3. Do we just search for glory for Bruna? Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I guess we could see what else we could get to, but it's probably just going to be Bruna. Oh, Weathered Wayfarer. Haven't seen that art on it. Sweet card, though. Yeah, that's something this deck could use. I do like that they put both Search for Glory and Thalia's Lancers in the deck. I mean, it just kind of shows that, like, okay. Oh, and Heirloom Blade. Heirloom Blade is in this deck also, which is, like, that's a tricky one that, unless you really kind of spend some time thinking about it, is not the first thing that you would normally go get. Ooh, or we could get Nykthos. I want to get Bruna, but that, like... I'm going to get Nykthos, because Nykthos is really good. Also, I don't want to, like... If opponents know that Bruna is coming and that Brizella can potentially be assembled, they will play very differently. It's too early to kind of telegraph that play. But yeah, if we have Nykthos and we can slam Well of Lost Dreams, that will make up for the cards. I do want to get to that Horn if I can. I mean, unfortunately, we used our one tutor here, but... Boromir, Gondor's Hope. Let's take a little peek at what's happening in play. So we got... from Jenko, we got a Weathered Wayfarer and a Boromir, Gondor's Hope. Enters the battlefield or attacks. Look at the top 6 of your library. May reveal a human or artifact from among them. Put it in your hand. Rest on the bottom. And their commander is Eowyn, Shield Maiden. Jeskai and 2 for a 5/4 first strike. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if another human entered the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 2/2 red human knight creature token with trample and haste. Then if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. So looks like they're going to be doing a token thing. Looks very interesting. He said he's playing the straight Precon, so we'll also get a look at that Precon as well. In the middle, we've got Fish Said Fish piloting Brimaz, Blight of Vareskos. I don't even know if I've seen this one. 4 mana, 3/4. Whenever you cast a Phyrexian creature or artifact spell, incubate X, where it's that spell's mana value. At the beginning of each end step, if a Phyrexian died under your control this turn, proliferate. There's a Skull Clamp. Oh, is Fish doing the toxic thing? Blight Belly Rat. When it dies, proliferate. And completed Huntmaster. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, incubate. Cool. So we're taking... Is it only 1 poison? The damage I don't mind, but the poison... Yeah, okay, it's only 1 poison. Trying to remember how toxic works with all the... Toxic, infect, and just poison counters. Poisonous? Is that also a mechanic? I think that's a mechanic as well. Jensen Carthalion, Druid Exile coming in, yeah. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, scry one. If that spell was all colors, make a 4/4 angel with flying and vigilance. Taps for Ulberg. Only converts the mana, though, does not generate excess mana. There's the Emeria Shepherd. That's a great backup plan if things start going wrong. Yeah, let's just play the Nykthos. Get the Keeper. The green deck missed the land right there, which is actually really disappointing. That being the case, well, if they make their next land, they'll still be on 5. Okay, yeah, we're still going to go with the Keeper. I just want to make sure we get value with the Keeper. Like, if we cast the Keeper and it immediately goes into a board wipe, I will be very sad. But if nothing else, it should spit out some tokens, which will give us blockers, which will be good. as I talked about a little bit in the upgrade video that I did, I think the struggles for this deck will be, first and foremost, just closing the game out. Mono white tends to be slow at closing the game, so if you're planning to buy this deck and you're planning to make upgrades, closing speed is a thing that I would look at. It's not really in the budget, but a Chroma's Will is going to help you a lot. True Conviction will do a lot as well. A Blackblade Reforged is going to be super helpful. Sarah's Emissary does insane amounts of work. It doesn't necessarily add damage, but it just says your opponents can't block, so all the damage you have is just going to get through. And a lot of times that's good enough. Plus you can't take damage back, which is so incredibly helpful. Borderline broken. It's borderline busted. I've had people get like really upset with me, especially like when it first came out. I was playing someone in GP Vegas and they had a green deck and they just like annihilated the last two players in play. They had like 60 power on board and I'm just like, Sarah's Emissary? And they're like, what? What is that? And I'm like, I can't take damage and you can't block? They were visibly upset. And I didn't have a ton of damage. I think I only had 2 creatures at that point, and I just like slowly chipped away at them, and they didn't have an answer for it. Sean and I had some really terrible game a long time ago. It went like 3 hours, where he ended up getting a Sarah's Emissary, putting like a Hearth and Home on it or something like that. There was there was a lot of stuff on board. There was a lot of craziness happening, but that was a really long and weird game. I don't think I ever edited the video for it because I'm like, this is just plainly too long. It's not worth the time and effort to do it. Going on the attack, they're going to look at the top 6 and look for a human. Oh, another one that looks good for this deck, too, is New Achroma. The one thing you'll have to wrestle with is that all of the good angels are 7-drops, and you can only run so many 7-drops. So, Fish sacrifices their thing. It'll proliferate, which will only get us, I think. And they draw 2 cards and make a treasure. So we're both on up. 2 of us are on 2 poison. For some reason, we do get to make a 1/1, though. I'm not sure if that was... Oh, that was at Jenka's end step. Okay, yep, cool. I'm on board now. But yeah, like if you assemble Gisela, I mean, Gisela by itself has 3 keywords on it, so if you slam 7 mana Achroma, it's going to get +3/+3, which is very good. And if you have Brizella, that's 4 keywords. New Achroma works really well with Brizella. And again, it's also just, it's going to give you that extra damage, and importantly, like, you can hold that back and kind of set up, and then when the time is right, you drop that and you get all that extra damage. You can surprise people with it a little bit, though it does tend to, like, there is always that turn where it's just you got to keep it in play, but once you want to actually attack with it. Puts the Skull Clamp on the Brimaz. We should be getting a land at the end step here, which I'm excited about. Opponent's going to Path to Exile on their Master Biomancer. They really want mana. Well, I guess that makes sense, because everything in their deck is probably Wooburg, and that 5th land is probably really important to them. I hope they make their 6th land, because then we'll get 2 lands off the Keeper, and that would be awesome. You get 2 lands off a Keeper, that is a great feeling, and you are putting yourself in a great position to do things in the game. Use the ability. Get a land. One land is good in like 1 land and a token for me is like, okay, we got our mana's worth of the 4 mana. I can live with that. Once you get 2, you're like, okay, I'm feeling very good about what's happening. They made their land drop. As long as this isn't a board wipe, we're going to get 2 lands off of it. And that makes me happy. God, I love this card. I can't believe how undervalued this card was when it came out. People were like, it's not that good. I'm like, are you kidding? This thing is insane. I actually don't know if I can play a mono white deck without it, to be honest. Jared Carthalion coming in. And opponent does make a 4/4. Then they make a 3/3. Yeah, they got some tokens. A lot of tokens happening. We can match that, though, once we find some of our token makers. Or like the big token makers, anyway. Yeah, 2 triggers at the end step. That's a token and a land. Definitely like that. Get a land. There's another land. That may be I mean, it's not like the most exciting thing ever, but if we need to get that Ameria Shepherd, having a stockpile of planes should be pretty good. Let's get our Gisela right here. Oh, we have an Angel of Destiny. That's a better use of... Let's just get Gisela, because I want to get to the Well of Lost Dreams. Start doing all that business. Awkward that we don't have like a low mana value play that we can make, but I guess that just is what it is. I don't think there's any great attacks for us. There is not. Yeah, we'll just stay put. Yeah, the next step is trying to draw a bunch with Well. Everyone's tapped out right now. Like, ideally, they'll be tapped out when our turn comes back again, so that we know we can get at least some value with the Well. And discarding, if we go above 7, even discarding a creature, we can just get it with the Maria Shepherd. It's actually like a pretty solid power play that we can make. Soul Raying. Yeah, that was probably one of the things I was most nervous about, is that, like, if someone gets a Soul Ring start, might be tough for the other decks at the table to catch up. Luckily, no one had one early, so I can live with it. At this point, it's good, but it's not, like, game-breaking. The other thing with Mono White Angels, too, because we talked about it, like, they're kind of slow to win the game, which means that you need to keep your stuff in play for longer, and in general, you need... With this deck, you're probably not going to win the game with, like, 2 creatures. Unless, like, one of them is Gisela, probably, which is sort of 2 in and of itself anyway. Like, you're probably going to need, like, 4 or 5 creatures in the air, which just means, like, if you run into the board wipe tribal game, where there's a board wipe every single turn, it is going to be really tough for you. With mono white decks in general, you just need to keep a lot of permanents in play, and then you generally need a turn to untap with them, and that's kind of the thing that always holds it back. Most of the other colors, like, they can find some way to win the game, and, like, maybe it's because I played a lot of Voltron. Like, with Voltron, it's nice because a lot of times your artifacts survive the board wipes, and if that's the case, you only need 1 creature in play, right? Like, it's not that hard to keep an equipment in play, and particularly if that equipment's like a Blackblade Reforged. And then it's just like, cast your one thing, hope it has haste, or, hope you have a way to give it haste, because Voltron. And you can still take people down pretty easily that way, even through a lot of board wipes. But yeah, mono white is the color that, like, I want to go against board wipe tribal the least, because I know I just need a lot of permanents in play. And the other thing to talk about too, I've talked about this a lot, but talk about it again, in case there's anyone new watching. So I've played every combination color of Angels. Honestly, like, this isn't just because I like Boros. I do believe that Boros Angels is the best color, because with Aurelia or with Gisela, you only need half as many creatures in play to be lethal against 1 or more players, right? So instead of needing 5 or 6 Angels in play to have lethal on someone, you need like 2 plus Aurelia, maybe a 3rd one, right? And that will be tons of damage. And so that plays into the 1, it's quicker, 2, you don't have to try and keep as many things in play to be able to get to the state of trying to win, right? Because, if you think about needing 2 additional Angels in play, that's like, 13, 14 mana, depending on what they are, right? That's a lot of extra mana to ask for. Another 1/1 for us. So I've always really liked Boros Angels for that reason. Plus, you get the equipment value, doubling up with Aurelia, your Sword of the Animus, and your Mask of Memories. Just, when you do that, like, you can outvalue even very strong Simic decks. So if anyone's wondering what the best colors of Angels are, or, what I think the best one is, I still like Boros Angels the best. And that includes, I've played 4 color and I've played 5 color, and I like what Boros has because of the double combat, double damage thing, but also because when you add all 5 colors, things get really unfocused. That's an Elesh Norn. That's a magic card. That's going to clean up all of our tokens. Luckily, Gisela and Keeper will stick around. This will definitely check the table for removal. I like that we haven't committed too much to the board. We could Cleansing Nova if it really becomes a problem, but we'll see if anyone else wants to, like, deal with that for a second first. Definitely not going to be able to draw as much with the Well of Lost Dreams, which is certainly disappointing. Might be able to get Angel of Destiny and Well of Lost Dreams. We need 6 mana for that. That's still a bit. Sending the 6/5 our way. It's not amazing. And the 4/3 over to the Planeswalker. Didn't move the Skull Clamp to the Elesh Norn, probably just because they ran out of mana, but that is interesting in that Elesh Norn is, like, one of the first things that needs to get blown up, like, in every game that it ever shows up, so notable in that sense. Yeah, we're just going to take the damage. I need to read this one again. It's been a while since I've looked at it. It's kind of weird. We do get a 1/1 at the end step, but it will immediately die. Anyway, Angel of Destiny, 5 mana, 2/6, flying double strike. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life, so we'll gain a ton of life. That'll gain us a lot of life with the Well of Lost Dreams, and be able to trigger that a lot. At the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attack this turn loses the game. Yeah, it says that. Notably, this will have 0 power with Elesh Norn on the board. Other things to think about with this deck, I would improve the quality of the ramp and the card draw, though the actual numbers of those type of cards in the deck aren't terrible. I counted everything up. I think it was like 12 pieces of ramp, and I think it was around 10 pieces of removal. So I might, like, opt for better choices in that department, but they at least didn't skimp on either of them, which is good. Perfect. There's an Anguished Unmaking on the Elesh Norn. Like I said, removal check the table. Life is good. We'll poke fish back and not feel bad about it, though. Our last opponent, by the way, is Annihilator 7 piloting... Who's their commander? Aha! Jared's their commander. I was confused for a second. They do have Gigantha in the companion zone. Spicy. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it looks like they're just doing like a Wooburg tribal kind of thing. That is an 8/8 with trample. Watch out for those. Annihilator going on the attack into fish. Yep. We're probably going to do the same thing. Although, there's a Planeswalker out here. We can wait one more turn, right? What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is -6. Return target multicolor card from your hand to your graveyard to your hand. If it was all colors, draw a card. Yeah, that's not that bad, actually. Fish is down to 23. Yeah, that's a shot. The 8/8 does things. Also, the 6/6. Righteous Valkyrie is a very good card. Like, surprisingly good. I will gush about it more in a second. Let's play a land. I think we actually play it. If we play it, how much mana does that generate? So we'd have to use... We'd have exactly 4... I'm going to wait on it. I'm just going to play the Well of Lost Dreams. Going on the attack. I'm a little nervous that I might lose Keeper trying to do this, but we'll see what happens. On the other hand, it does have a lot of attack. Yeah, maybe we're just going to hold that Keeper back. I think we're just holding the Keeper back. There's a lot of power on board now that I'm looking at it. We'll poke fish, though. Fish takes a hit for 4. That's going to trigger the Well of Lost Dreams, and I think we're going to go all 4 here because we're mono-white. Coming by cards is difficult. This is about as efficient as card draw is ever really going to get for us, so particularly in this Precon. More so if we have a Mask of Memory. Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp would be a huge add to this deck. But yeah, we're just going to go all 4. Plus we have the reanimation capability of Amaria Shepherd. There's a Sunblast Angel is very interesting. We need to discard 2. I'm going to discard Angel of Destiny and I think Sunblast Angel. Yeah. And then we'll look to Amaria Shepherd and bring them back. I feel good about that. Feel way worse if something happens to both of them. But there is a school of thought where we don't show them the Sunblast Angel because if they're paying attention, they might not attack next turn. But also some Nykthos is good, but this will be a nice piece of mana ramp to complement. Nykthos is sort of tricky in its usage. Eowyn, King of Rohan. 2/2 double strike. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other human you control. Oh, that's spicy. When it enters the battlefield, target player becomes the monarch. It deals damage equal to its power to any target. Huh. You can do a pretty cool human tribal thing with that. It's a 5/5, yeah. Notably, there have been a lot of good white humans over the past, we'll say, 4 or 5 years. They're going to shoot the Planeswalker, yeah. I was hoping to shoot the Planeswalker, but I didn't want to anger the big Kavu. We weren't really prepared to have a... Wow. Gonna let the fairies protect against that? Really wants to keep their board state. I mean, I'll be happy to get that out of the way right now. That is much better than that coming down 2 or 3 turns later. Because, like, now if they attack, right, they're soft to the Sunblast Angel. Crown of Gondor. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control. If there is no monarch, you become the monarch. Equip 4, this ability costs 3 less to activate if you're the monarch. That's cool. A lot of abilities baked in there. I have to say that, like, the Lord of the Rings set really has a lot of stuff in it. I haven't really wrapped my head around all of it, but I would say it is one of the more impactful Commander sets that's ever been released. Like, the amount of things that it adds and changes seems to be a lot. Like, it's probably on par with, like, Commander Legends, which did add a lot to the format. There is a 3/4 coming our way. There's a 7/6 going over to Fish, and a 2/2, and a 2/2 coming our way. We will block the 3 and just leave the token. Based on what's happening right now, I mean, if Fish has a board wipe, Fish is going to play a board wipe. And if that doesn't happen, we have the Sunblast Angel ready and waiting to go. You know, honestly, this is one that I've overlooked a little bit. I was down on it for a number of years, because if you go back, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, people didn't attack as much because creatures weren't as good, right? So, like, you know, you kind of get into that, like, 2016, 2017 era, early 2017, like, combo was still the order of the day, and, you know, people, like, they're kind of turtle up and try to combo off type stuff, and Sunblast Angel just isn't as effective against that. Because creatures are so strong now, like, everyone just runs a lot more of them, and there's just, in my opinion, there is more attacking than there used to be because creatures are so good. And because of that, I think Sunblast Angel has gained a little bit of value and is probably something I need to, like, look at again for my Angel decks, but in the past I've had it where you're just like, you look at it in your hand, I'm like, this doesn't do what I need it to do right now, and it's very upsetting. And based on that too, Angel of the Dire Hour is also a really sweet card that I think it's picked up a little bit of value again, because there are so many creatures and just you are more likely to be attacked at some point. Now, it's a weird card in that it's 7 mana and you gotta hold up the 7 mana for it, and that's like kind of brutal. But, so you have to like really time it when you're like, okay, I think the big overrun is coming this turn, right? And if you mistime it, you might die, kind of thing, so there is all of that, but... I do think with creatures kind of being on the upswing that Sunblast Angel and Angel of the Dire Hour have gained value, and I would not fault anyone for running either or both. Fish goes no attack. Scion of Draco! See what Annihilator is thinking. What does this one do again? 2 less for each basic land type, 4/4 flying. Each creature you control has Vigilance if it's white, Hexproof if it's blue, Lifelink if it's black, First Strike if it's red, and Trample if it's green. Oh, that's disgusting. And a Karth the Lion. Being that these things are all colors, that is a lot of keywords. First Strike, Hexproof, Lifelink, Trample. Yeah, that's kind of terrible. Is there Vigilance in there? Ah, Vigilance. No, not Vigilance. I mean, probably Swords the Scion, because then everything else looks kind of bad. And maybe we're on the Cleansing Nova. We really haven't committed very much to the board. We might just be on the Cleansing Nova. Oh no, they're coming in our direction. Ooh. Oh, they both have Trample. Oh, that's going to hurt a lot. How many lands do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 lands, so we're not going to get a land. I'm going to throw both under the bus. Slow down what little bit I can. Shot for 14 is not thrilled about it. I think that puts us on Cleansing Nova, though. Down to 24. That has flying. That's annoying. Make sure there's no reach in here. I'm going to swing into the Planeswalker. It might get blocked by the thingy. Yeah, they're going to block. We have First Strike, thankfully. Would like to get the Arcane Signet in, so the question is, how much do we draw? We need to leave up 6 mana. Maybe we don't draw? Well, if we do that... No, we should draw. So we can gain 3 right here. Or we can draw 3 right here. Dawnbreak Reclaimer, Bruna, and Book of Exalted Deeds. Those are cards. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's try not to get too excited. Play the Plains. Play the Cleansing Nova. Oh, nope. Forgot the Arcane Signet. Then play the Cleansing Nova, destroying all creatures. Fish will get to draw 2 cards. Is this indestructible or something? Gisela, back to the command zone. Our graveyard's getting a little full. Although if we left it there... Oh, we could have just went straight to Bruna. If we left it there. Or Brizella, rather. That's a miss on my part. I want everything in our hands, so I'm going to discard the Plains. Given that the Well of Lost Dreams is still out there, and that this deck is almost entirely Plains, almost any land we draw is going to be a Plains. So... feel okay that we can replenish that second land drop. How did this survive? Oh, Bastion Protector. He had a Bastion Protector. Haha. New art. Love it. Sweet card. Really starting to, This has always been a pretty good card. I think it's probably better now. I don't know. Maybe it's just always been a pretty good card, but... because the game is so heavily, like, play a thing, try to protect it, and this is a great way to do that. And it's the type of thing that, like, you can get it back, too, because it's a creature. Which can be super helpful off of like a Sun Titan late in the game. So like, yeah, we played that board wipe, and Jenka didn't lose nearly as much tempo as the rest of us, right? They still have their commander in and still doing stuff. And the good news is, if they want to, they can take down this Planeswalker. The Book of Exalted Deeds will be very good for our devotion. Very, very good. So I think the sequence is going to be Righteous... I don't know if we have enough mana for all this, but it's going to try to be Righteous Valkyrie, Book of Exalted Deeds... a Marius Shepherd. That might be a lot to ask, though. We have 9 lands, 10 right there. So we need to find 3 extra mana. Well, we might be able to do it. We might be able to do it. And it can't require that we need this Plains to do it. Who are we getting back? I mean, I almost think, like... I love Keeper of the Accord. But we might be in the Angel of Destiny portion. Ooh, nice. That's a Swords that is importantly not getting used on us. I can't stress the importance of that. Who cast it? That was Fish casting the Swords, which is interesting. Fish may be concerned... Fish might have been concerned that, like, that was going to come kill them. So the choice there is that it either gets them or it kills the Planeswalker. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Which direction they were going to go. Man, I would love to get Dawnbreak Reclaimer, too. Although, everyone's got stack graveyards, so giving stuff back isn't my favorite. But maybe we're not on a Marius Shepherd yet. Like, Dawnbreak Reclaimer's probably fine. Because there's nothing in our graveyard that we, like, need in this exact second. If everything's tapped... then we think about the Sunblast, but It might just... Angel of Destiny. Yeah, maybe we get the Angel. Oh, actually... well, if we go Dawnbreak Reclaimer, no one's going to... They're going to give us the least beneficial one, right? That's a thing to think about. They mutate the Phyrexian token thing and put a Skull Clamp on it. Plague Mirror. Opponent's going to proliferate. That's a Throne of Geth. That is going to make me more inclined to want to eliminate fish quickly. Probably the same for Annihilator. They're going to swing into the Planeswalker. Yeah, I would like to get that Planeswalker out of play, although, yeah, it's fine. Opponents using resources on each other is great for us. What's the other mode in this thing? This is a cool card. I need to really look at this card more. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, make a 3/3 Angel with flying. Pay 3, exile it. Put an Enlightened counter on target Angel it gains. You can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. Nice. So a creature becomes Platinum Angel. Sweet. Activate only as a sorcery. Oh, would love to do that at instant speed. Sure, you can attack me for lethal, but can you deal with this Platinum Angel? Planeswalker down. I mean, how we rebuild from this board wipe probably determines the game. Maybe we skip the Book of Exalted Deeds. We'll get it next turn. I really want to use it, though. That's a big one. 2-headed Hellkite. 5/5 Flying Menace Haste. When it attacks, draw 2 cards. Let's see where this is going. Could go in our direction if they're upset about the board wipe we played and the fact that they got hammered when we played it. But I would say they rushed their Teferi's protection. Though I don't know if that was I'm going to use this because I know it's probably too strong for the table. Okay. Not coming our way. I'm all about that. They will draw 2 cards. Down to 1, so they need those 2 cards pretty badly. Sad for them if they're both lands. It's an interesting card. I haven't seen that one. 5-color dragon. Opponent draws with the Monarch. Oh, I think they were trying to steal the Monarch. So they go up to 4 cards. Yep. Refilling their hand a bit. Ooh, Path to Exile. So much safety. Okay, I have talked myself out of... Man, I really want to get this in, but it's the wrong time. Let's get the book... let's get the Righteous Valkyrie. Let's get a Maria Shepherd. Yeah, and this will work out. Triggers the Righteous Valkyrie. We're going to gain some life. No mana to pay for the thing, but we have a full hand anyway. We have a hand that I very much like. Things have gone really well this game. Nothing into the Well of Lost Dreams. Play a Plains. Get the Angel of Destiny. I don't know if I've talked about it in this video. I do have to say, the life gain theme in this deck is really cool. I don't play a lot of life gain. Let's go to the battlefield. Or like life gain theme. And just the interactions look super sweet, in my opinion. And when my secret lair gets here, I might leave it intact for a while because I do think there are a lot of interesting pieces in there. Like the Book of Exalted Deeds, the Griffinary, Valkyrie Harbinger, all that stuff is like really, really good. We could draw a card here, but I want to leave up Swords and Path just in case. Back up to 38. Yeah, we getting there. We are getting there. No attacks this turn. What do you need to be to get this thing active? As long as you have 7 more than your starting life total. I mean, that's like casting 1 more Angel, more or less. Well, 2 more to be sure, but this thing does a lot of life gain too. Yeah, there are some really cool interactions in this deck. Eowyn Shield Maiden coming back. Oh, that's a Combat Celebrant. Watch out for those. That's a 7/4. And a Village Bell Ringer. That doesn't go infinite, right? Why'd they play that then? That has flash and stuff. Oh, make more tokens probably? Yeah, make more tokens. Got it. The tokens have haste. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah, let's see what they're thinking. Let's see what they're thinking. They're going to steal the Monarch back, hunting down that sweet, sweet card draw. That is a 5/3 going over to Annihilator. Going to proliferate again. Yeah. I think it's really the question of whether they have a board wipe in hand or not. It'd be bad if they did, because we would lose a lot of tempo. And we're at the point where I'd like to get them out of the game so they don't make a sequence of plays that gets us killed by poison here. Yeah, Sunfall is not what I was hoping on. That is actually really bad. Yep. That's a bad time. Lost 3 good ones right there. Who's left? Cut a deal. Each opponent draws a card, then you draw a card for each opponent who drew a card this way. I'll take a card. Shattered Angel. More life gain. How to get all this stuff into play. I mean, did we just go for Brizella this turn? We probably just go for Brizella this turn. One thing we have to be careful of is, like, if we attack and they give us the Sunblast Angel, it would kill our stuff. Unless we have Vigilance, which Brizella would have Vigilance. But, yeah, Sunfall's really good. Painful Truths. More card draw. They've drawn a lot of cards over this. They had 1 card last turn. Now they're up to 6. Though they haven't done that much else in that time. Could almost reach more value. I wonder if that Kodama's reach, how's that do to their land count? I'll put them on 9 lands. If they play a land, they'll be on 10. They did not. We're on 9 lands, so no value out of Keeper yet. But I don't know that we have like a ton of other things to go grab. But, I mean, this is as good as a chance as we're going to get to slam a Brizella. So, I think that's what we're doing. There is a Plains. Who are we getting back? We got Sunblast Angel and Keeper of the Accord. Well, I guess it's Keeper of the Accord. Play Bruna. Actually, just on the random off chance of like a counterspell, play Gisela first. Hope we have enough mana for all this. Tell me we're going to be one short. I think we're going to be one short. So I guess we do it next turn. I mean, the board's empty, which means people will tap out trying to recast stuff, so should be able to get it down next turn. Double check, make sure I'm not missing anything. What does this add? This adds... That'll only add 2. We are indeed one short. Oh, so frustrating. All right, so Shattered Angel and leave up 1 for a Swords or a Path. Pass like that. Eowyn, coming back. What's this? Time number 3 or 4? One of the things I talked about in the upgrade video is keeping your stuff in play, and thus I recommended a lot of protection for this deck. If we were able to dodge that Sunfall, like, basically, I mean, that's a game-winning play, right? Because everyone else loses their stuff, and we had not that we had like tons and tons of power, but that board state that we had was going to spiral pretty hard by getting the team pumped up with the whatchamacallem, with the Righteous Valkyrie effect, getting tokens off of this, probably getting 2 more creatures with that, getting Brizella, right, all that stuff. I am excited about the Shattered Angel. Shattered Angel has been on my radar. I might just draw the card right here. I'm not expecting some big nasty haste thing to come down. Some concern about fish doing value proliferate stuff, but I'm going to risk it and take the card. Anyway, excited about the Shattered Angel. It's been on my radar for a long time, and the problem is that they keep printing more and more angels in, like, where I would have put this in the decks. I'm like, that does seem like it'll gain you a lot of life. They just keep printing angels, and you can only run so many in your deck. Ooh. That is really good, actually. Equips the thing on the thing. Yep, it's a 6/5. But yeah, like, if you can keep this in play for like 2 turn cycles, you're going to gain a lot of life. And I will say that, like, my Aurelia deck does need just a touch more life gain in it. It doesn't do, like, a ton beyond that, so without the life gain synergies, maybe it's not worth it as a 5-mana 3/3, but yeah, you know, sometimes just keeping yourselves alive is important. That said, like, for Aurelia in particular, but even for this deck, I really like the, was it Enduring Angel? Is that the one? It's got 2 halves. I can never remember which the name of the front half is. The one with the cheat death effect, where if they attack you, you survive at 3 and it flips over. That essentially goes in the same deck slot, and as a flyer with double strike, that also gains you a lot of life. It carries equipment really, really well. Probably outclasses the Shattered Angel a little bit for non-heavy life gain theme decks. Although that card's got life gain attached to it, so if for some reason your life did get really low, you can gain a bunch back. But yeah, I'm excited we get to use this one. Years this thing's been on my radar. Probably 4 or 5. Use it again! 6 life. No more mana, sadly. Want to leave a little mana up if we can, going into next turn because of the, well... Shieldred is nasty. So the play is probably sacrifice Shattered Angel to the Shieldred, get Shattered Angel back with Bruna. I think that's going to be the plan. Skull Clamp on the Shieldred. Shieldred worthy of a Swords or a Path, although Shieldred is also a headache for our opponents, and if we can, like... Well, maybe not, because we can probably just kill fish. We don't have 10 damage in the air yet, and I don't know that we will... Yeah, it'll be tough to get additional damage. Therein lies the problem, right? Also why I recommend adding a Blackblade Reforged to this deck is if we could just slam a Blackblade Reforged and get in the kill on fish, then we don't even have to use removal on the Shieldred. That's 12 life on... No, 9 life on the Shattered Angel. For those keeping score at home, up to 47. If you guys have ever played... This reminds me of Sangromancer, which is also a ridiculous card. I should build a black-white life gain deck. That might be fun. Anyway, Sangromancer, if you keep that in play through like a board wipe or a wheel or something, like you just go to like 60 life instantly. It gains so much life. Shattered Angel, probably not that dissimilar, maybe a little less crazy unless you're facing like a landfall deck or something. Guess it depends on how many green decks are at the table. Ooh, artifacts. No. Merciless Eviction on artifacts are card draw about to go away. At least we didn't run this one down there. Oh, he's trying to get rid of the Throne of Geth. That's the plan. What'd they sacrifice? Oh, an artifact. Probably also realizing that, like, you know, they can see our poison count and that we don't want to die to poison. So, yeah, Fish has been alive long enough in this game that they can probably reasonably intuit that I would now like to take Fish out of the game. It's turn 10, by the way. But that was our card draw, and that's really why this game has gone as well as it has, because we've been able to draw a lot of cards with it. Wouldn't be a terrible time for, what is it, Horn of Gondor? No, Horn of something. Really? We're doing that? Sacrifice the Shattered Angel. Shieldred's Edict. Yeah, brings it back to our turn. Sacrifice the Gisela. Alright, Fish wants to play rough. Leave it in the graveyard. Karoo. I would cut this. I am not a fan of this cycle. Cast a Bruna. Actually, wait. This basically costs 1 when we cast the... Yeah, okay. Get that. Get the Starnheim Aspirant first. Cast Bruna. Get Gisela. Use the ability. Bet opponents are crapping themselves now. There's 1 mana up over here. That could be scary. Let's... How much do we get off of this? 5. Excellent. Let's get the Book of Exalted Deeds. And Path to Exile the Shieldred. Did I play a land yet? Did we play the Karoo? Oh, it's got to be untapped, right? Enters battlefield sacrifice unless you return an untapped plains. Ah. Yeah, that untapped business makes it so bad. Like, unfortunately, you don't get the Ravnica bounces. There's a colorless one, right? Yeah. I mean, I would take that over this cycle. This is just so awkwardly slow. Go to the instep. Try to meld this Brazella. We melded a Brazella. Fun's over. I'm actually really excited we got to do this on video with this deck. And by the way, this is the first game that I'm filming with this, so it's not like I took a bunch of attempts to try and film this. This is how the deck is playing out of the box. And so far, my initial assessment's right. This is a pretty good deck. One of the better precons I've ever seen. It may not have like the speed of some of the green precons that have come out recently, because those can just get wild. You know, you still have to deal with the fact that this is a mono white angel deck, which is not a particularly quick strategy. But yeah, I've been impressed on what I'm seeing. Now, if we don't have the Well of Lost Dreams, I'm not so sure how I feel about things, but you know, if we have some card draw along the way, we're okay. But if you run into none, that is a problem. Oh no, what's this? They just steal our thing. You become the Monarch. The Monarch controls the... Really? That's what we're doing. Well played. Alright, now what? How do we deal with that? There are a few pieces of enchantment removal in the deck. One of them gets caught by the Brazella, which is no good. Oh, that'll be terrible if that's how we die. Won't be thrilled about that. The bad news, too, is if it dies, it's gonna be tough to get that Bruna back. Sadness resolves. Alright, what's in this deck list? Please tell me there's a Crush Contraband or something. There's an Angel of the Ruins, which we're gonna need to find our way into, I think. There is an Austere Command, but we could go enchantments is what we could do. Okay, we have Austere Command, Angel of the Ruins. Angel of Serenity would blink it. Like I said, Angel of Serenity always finds a way to solve problems, so that would take it out of play and we could recast it and do all that stuff, which I'm not opposed to that. I guess this is the type of situation, though, where if someone else has another board wipe, you probably play another board wipe for the Brazella. Doesn't look like it's going to be Fish since they cast their commander here. Fish down to 9. Phyrexian Delver. Sure, I'm not going to like this. Getting back Shieldred? No, that would put them on, like, death's door. What do you get? A Plague Mirror. Interesting. Flying Blocker? Flying Blocker. I think that's what that is. Shieldred is exiled, so not an available option. If they went Shieldred, that will put them to 2. Is this any graveyard? I forgot, I haven't played this thing in a long time. Your graveyard. Your graveyard only. Let's see what this next turn's going to look like. Losing Brazella was, I mean, that was basically our entire plan. Like, we more or less tapped out for that. And kind of got not so much left now. Kids, always run Homeward Path in your deck. For situations like this. Tamio. Do you -2 and tap the Brazella? Yep. Oh. So if those are tapped, we can go Dawnbreak Reclaimer, and potentially, if they want to give us Sunblast Angel, that does kill the Brazella. And because Bruna's not in the command zone, it is, like, somewhat difficult to get that back. Someone would have to choose it with Dawnbreak Reclaimer, but we have a lot of other creatures that they would go first. So Oh, Grassland. That Shattered Angel would have been amazing. What do we draw? Angel of the Ruins. Okay. That's one of the 3 cards we talked about. What else do we want to exile? There isn't really all that much else to exile. Cast. 4 reduced mana, nonetheless. Still going to have a rough time untapping the... We should probably take down the Tamiyo. Yeah, let's get rid of the blue thing. We got the blue thing, right? Yep. And we'll get rid of the flying blocker, because that seems relevant. Sure, I'm not going to like this. That's a Surok being flashed in. Yeah, that's fine. It does mean... Actually, that helps us out, because I was going to send this 2/2 over there to kill this Tamiyo, but that's not going to happen any longer. And it would have gotten crushed by the Surok. We get our Brizella back. It is sadly tapped, and it'll be a while before it untaps. But... Let's see here. How much mana does this make? 6. Excellent. Play the Dawnbreak Reclaimer. Oh, no, we don't want to do this. Oh, we can choose no, is the thing that we can do. That is the thing that we can do. Play the Karu. Pick up a Plains. Sit on a Swords. Actually, we can steal the Monarch also is what we can do. I feel much better with Brizella being back on our side. Like, so much better. So much better. Yeah, steal that Monarch back. Definitely going to need that. And pass like that. Dawnbreak, the Monarch trigger. I bet Jenko wants something back. Bastion Protector might be of... you know, give him a Bastion Protector. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe they'll give us something favorable. I really like this card when you're playing paper games because you can negotiate with it. Like a Magic Online, it's a little tougher. Mostly I'm being lazy right now. I don't feel like opening the chat, but then there's like a long wait time to see if they respond, if they don't have it open, all that kind of stuff. So, what do they go with? Oh, they gave us the Keeper. Excellent. Use the ability. So yeah, my goal there was like give them something they want, and now we both get something, and they get a 1/1 thingy. But yeah, for like a this is really good for political situations. Really good if there's like an arch enemy at the table and 2 of you trying to climb back in it. You're like, hey, get that thing that like blows up one of the things on the arch enemy's side, right? And then everyone feels a little bit better. I do want to build a deck just entirely around stuff like that, of like a very political type deck. Been putting that one off for quite a while. It's gonna take like a lot of brain power. That like all of the like Pulse Mage Advocate, Null Mage Advocate, that type of stuff. Also, that game will probably take 4 hours. Probably another reason that I haven't been chomping at the bit to get that one done. I would not be thrilled if Fish has another Exile board wipe. Yeah, even a regular one at this point, we're out of reanimation. There's probably a little bit more in the deck, but it's getting thin. No, I think we've used all of it. I think we have used all of it. There's probably an Emeria. Is there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Emeria's in here. Yeah, Emeria's in here, but I think that's our last piece if what we have currently goes down. There is a world in which holding the Dawnbreak Reclaimer may have been the correct call. For that reason. If another board wipe happens, we're in trouble, but I guess that's also like the 3rd or 4th one, and just 4 board wipes go off and you're mono white, you're probably not going to win. The odds are... Ooh. Taunt from the Rampart. Well, this is going to get nasty. I have speculated that this card is probably too strong. That'll definitely force a board wipe if someone has it. They probably have to minus the Tamiyo again. Maybe not like thrilled about, but does mean there's going to be a lot of like not blocking happening for a long time. He says, sort yourselves out. Yeah. Visions of Glory. For each 1/1, create a 1/1 white human creature token for each creature you control. Oh yeah, seems good. Getting them tokens going. More 1/1 and Vigilance. There's a 5/5 Bastion Protector coming in our direction. Why would they do that? Oh, that's fishy. We're at 47. I'm just going to take that one. Not interested in finding out what's going on there. Taking the Monarch back got us. We won't be able to attack them either, unless like, I think we find a creature with haste or something. Yeah, that'd be rough. Tough to do in a white deck, especially with no additional creatures and the haste source not here. Several things would have to happen. They draw. He did play the Surok, I think, as a preemptive, just don't attack my Tamiyo. I think he wanted to keep the Tamiyo in for controlling the board a little bit. Transform this artifact. You know, I may have been in this predicament with Sunblast Angel before. Maybe one of the reasons that I stopped running it, I can't remember. I played a lot of Angels, but I feel like I have had some weirdness with this in the past. Particularly with Dawnbreak Reclaimer, where they get to choose. Sending everything our way. Okie dokie. Oh, we can't block? Jesus. Well, it's a good thing we have a lot of life. And if, like, really worst case scenario happens, if we could, like, swords our own creature to gain life if we need to, but That's sort of a last resort. I find that play... There were times where that play used to be more relevant, particularly when you're like... When creatures had drawbacks on them. There was times when swords in your own creature might have been the right call, but... less and less so now that just like, you know... Creatures only do good things for you. Down to 31. Yep. What are we getting, a land? No, we get a land. At this point, I'm happy to pull lands out of the deck. That, if we do find a little bit of card draw, definitely have the mana to make multiple plays. But still a lot of planes in the deck. Yeah, no Sword of the Animists early. Burnished Hearts and things like that. They're going the plus mode. Okay. So we're going to get to attack with Gisela. There is a Surok coming in our direction. Just go ahead and eat that to the face. What could Fish have? Fish would need instant speed removal, like an Utter End would be bad. But we probably already see it if they have it. What I'm trying to figure out is if we can send only Gisela. Actually, you know, no, I think we do it differently. Because Brizela's already going to have a huge target anyway. If Fish does have removal, I'd rather they shoot our other stuff. Down to 25, yeah, opponents put a pretty good chunk into us. We were at 47. So was that 22 over the last turn cycle? That's a mutated Nethroi. That's scary. Find out how many things that's bringing back. Non-mutated Nethroi? They just hardcast a Nethroi? That one's a human. Yeah, they hardcast a Nethroi. Huh. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, they don't have anything to mutate onto. Rough. That is a lot of potential to give up. Oh, they totally missequenced that. They could have just made the Kavu and then did it, and then got a million things back. Well, may not matter too much, because I don't know if they have flyers. That's kind of the thing that they're needing. That is now an 8/8. Yep. Notably, this thing can block. So, ground creatures. Okay, yeah, that'll significantly impact how we attack here. Nykthos Paragon, you say? Oh, this thing's still tapped? Why is this still tapped? That is indeed our life gain. No additional life gain. Could swords our own creature. That's a thing we could do. I don't know if I want to do that, but 21, huh? How much damage do we have? That's 10, 15. We have 15 damage, so not really in the realm of possibility. Play the planes. We need people dead. Into Fish. Into Fish. Yeah, we just let Jenka finish Fish off. Can we not attack? Wow, we can't attack Planeswalkers? Oh, that's rough. And we'll put 2 into Annihilator. Why isn't this untapping? Oh, it's because the turn sequence got all messed up with it. Eek. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. And now they can do it again? God, we're never going to untap with this. Though, Jenka might be in a position to take one or more players out here. Well, I don't have a ton in play yet, but like an Anthem or something? Maybe. It's a long shot. Fish at 2, Annihilator at 11. We've given them plenty of incentive. We'll get ourselves a blocker here. At least keep the small stuff away. Sit on our swords, pass the turn. Oh yeah, we get a Dawnbreak trigger. Maybe we just get this one before it's really a problem. Come on, Shattered Angel. Yeah, they're trying the Sunblast Angel. Wait, no. No, they went Shattered Angel. Excellent. See what opponent wants to shoot with this thing. Fish's face? Annihilator's face? Maybe. Notably, Shattered Angel, if opponents start playing lands, our team will get huge. It is a 6/6 in which it could kill the Nykthos Paragon, which wouldn't be amazing. Yeah, they're trying to figure it out. You gonna put it? You gonna shoot their own Bastion Protector? That's weird. Why would they do that? Misclick? Yeah, it looks like a misclick. That works out in the sense that one of our things might have run the chopping block there. That may not have been the best decision on our part. Said, yep, that was a mistake. Yep. And probably a pretty costly one in that 6 power means they could shoot this Nykthos Paragon, which means our team won't get huge. And now it's... Yep, there's the Landfall trigger. Now it will. Now... Ooh, this is a nice little combo, huh? I mean, this is a lot of power. And this is mostly off the hands of Nykthos Paragon, but... Use the ability. Yeah, our team is huge now. We just need to untap without our stuff getting messed up. Oh god, what is this? 4th Earling, 10 2/2s with Trample and... Okay. Oh, and they're going to become 3/3s with Vigilance? That's a lot of damage. I don't know if we can survive that. The swords, maybe. Yep, should have used the book. Definitely going to use the book next turn if everyone else is dead here. Those are 11/11s. That's a problem. Those are... Oh my... Yeah, no, we're definitely dead. How are they 12/12s? Oh, I could have prevented that. Whenever it or another... Creatures you can... Wow. Yep, okay. Everyone's dead. Everyone is dead. Unless they mess up. That one doesn't have Trample, thankfully. Oh, it's going to be close. We might be able to wiggle out of this, though. Trample is going to be nasty, though. Definitely put this one in front of the big double striker. Put this one in front of one of those. And swords one of the other ones coming at us. Come on! Shattered Angel down. Ha ha ha! We're still alive at 13! What does this say? Don't do more damage. Whenever one or more creatures deal damage to you, you become the monarch. Okay, that's fine. Both of them go down. They overcommitted their creatures in their direction and did not send enough in our direction, which is very much going to open the door for us here. We get a 1/1. Excellent. And this Valkyrie Harbinger finally showing up to the party. Play Plains, cast Valkyrie Harbinger. Use the book on Angel of the Ruins is the one that's like has the least value in shooting, so I'm going to put it on that one. And go to combat. Is this actually lethal? I haven't counted. Send that one. Send all the flyers. Definitely. The ground creatures, not so much. Yeah, that's not going to be lethal. He's at 49. We steal the Monarch back. Definitely going to need those cards. We go back to 25 off the lifelink. There's still quite a bit out there. More pump effects could be bad, although I guess we have the Angel of the Dire Hour, or we have the Platinum Angel effect happening right now, which is a good time. Seraph Sanctuary is not really what I was hoping on. Bastion Protector? Yeah, they're choosing Sunblast Angel. We're going to say no. And we get a 4/4. Excellent. Pass like that. See if opponent has more tricks. They will be hamstrung because Gisela is in play and they can't cast spells 3 or less. So that's a thing. Big board wipes can be an issue. Some sort of one-sided board wipe would be a problem. Something that says unblockable would be a problem. I have to say, we held that swords like a champ. There were some moments I was itching to use it. Drawing both of them helps a lot because then you can burn one and still have one left in the pocket. Yeah, let's see what their biggest play is. It is a big mana play. All their mana looks like. Expel, maybe? Oh, no. Their commander for the 8th time. They get the pump thing again. I gotta read that. Where'd that card go? Baragon of the Guard. Whenever it or another human enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. So that's sort of like Gold Knight. What's it called? Gold Knight Crusader? Gold Knight. Can't think of the name of it. The Gold Knight guy. That's pumps your team and makes them huge. This is a nice secondary option. You're going to need a lot of humans to make it work, so relevant to Winota. But yeah, if you're doing this kind of humans token thing, that is a lot of power and a nice keyword. I'll tell you what, though, it feels bad for opponent that they punted, but that was a nice sequence that they had right there. Like, they set their stuff up, they were ready to go, and with better attacks, they easily win the game. I'm going to block for the lifelink a few things. That one's got double strike. I don't want to mess with that one. We'll take the rest and then just rely on our Platinum Angel effect. They do wrestle the Monarch back. Down to 2. Didn't even need to use our Platinum Angel. Got all kinds of room. This should be lethal. They're tapped out. I can't imagine what they would have to get out of this. End step, Valkyrie Harbinger, Keeper of the Accord, Monarch, all trigger. Ooh, you make another 4/4. Ooh, and a Johnny. What's this one do? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to be needing that one. Go to combat. Send in the flyers. The fact that this makes Vigilant Angels is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Here's the big attack. This should do it. I told Jenka. Jenka was upset about their punt, but I told him, I'm like, think of it as creating entertainment. But yes, we would have gone down with smarter attacks right there. And down they go. Yeah. You know what? All right, so this is a solid deck right out of the box. Now, you're going to want to upgrade it a little bit if you're playing against faster opponents, right? Like, we were facing... Jenka's deck was a Precon. Some of the other decks they weren't exactly Precons, but they were still reasonably watered down that they're not going as hard as they possibly can. And that's kind of going to be necessary. And in general, Angels are not the deck you want to be playing if people are going as hard as they can. It's, you know, they are just kind of big and slow. And Aurelia does all right if you can get, like, a nice Stacks Angel down early, but yeah, this is not the deck for like super fast metas, especially out of the box. You can speed it up, or you can put more stacks in the deck to slow it down. A Blind Obedience is a card that I would most definitely add. It does so good. It's so good. That more killing power, like a Blackblade Reforged, you know, even if it's not on the commander, just to get a lot of damage easily, right? We had a ton of lands in play. Would be good, amongst many other things. So, yeah, be sure to check out the upgrade video I did. I talk about a lot of the upgrades for this deck, but overall, I had a great time. The lifelink stuff was really fun, even though we didn't get to trigger it that many times. We kind of got out of sorts with Gisela being tapped down and not gaining the life right there. We would have had a big life gain turn. which would have been super cool. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, and I think I'm probably going to leave my deck as is, at least for a little bit, just so I can kind of mess with some of the stuff that I haven't really gotten to play. I haven't played the Book of Exalted Deeds before, and it was pretty cool. Nor have I used Valkyrie Harbinger, to be honest with you. So yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.